at age like 11 to 13. My dad fucking tossed me. He literally fired me for being too good. Swear to God.
Whew. Hopefully after listening to part 1, you've made it to part 2. Hopefully you enjoyed my kind of half of the podcast. Now it is on to Mr. Eddie Maalouf, the brilliant marketer himself, founder of 4MEDIA. And we really dive into his story, all about, everything from childhood, growing up in Lebanon, all the way to where we're at now with 4MEDIA. So it's an exciting episode, and buckle up and enjoy part 2.
No surprises, but this may be the better half. This is the intro.
So, Eddie, how did you come up with the name 4MEDIA? It's an interesting and unique name. What made you take that name?
Andrew's just going to interview me. Mass communication's paid off. You know what I mean? If there's anything that it's taught of it.
Indeed. That's hilarious. But seriously, now we need to go back to your origin story. We started at mine.
It's funny, actually, because we kind of bounced around a bit, right? Mm-hmm. So I stole some of your thunder. Well, it was supposed to be both our thunder, I guess, to be fair.
Yeah, in the original conceptualization of the episode, it was
on
like
paper,
both of our stories, and then we realized like
they're too long.
Andrew talks a lot. There's a reason why he started a fucking podcast with his own name in the name of the podcast. He likes to talk a lot.
Fucking dead. What were we actually talking about at this
But basically, you were saying that you stole a little bit of my thunder, but I don't feel like you did, because in the original thing we were talking about both. But
yeah,
this episode is now about you.
I actually
Eddie
never
Maalouf.
dug into my saying when I was a kid I used to do this until yesterday. We went to dinner with a friend of ours and his wife. And it was like a very open dinner of how did you do this and how did you think of this and how were you when you were a kid, and it started making me think of all these things, but it made me think little things so my family's from Lebanon. It even made me think back to the fact that for 6 summers straight as a kid, I used to work 10-hour work days in the summer every day in the water park to earn $250 a month. 10 hours, 7 days a week. You know what I mean? Would drive back to the water park from grandma's house and get out of the car, put on my work clothes and go to work more so that I can make sure I got paid. And it was $250 a month. Literally slavery.
Dude, you think about that when you're a kid, you work for such little money. I remember dude, you could not pay me $100 to mow the lawn right now. Fuck that. In the heat of Georgia, mowing the lawn with your shirt off, that sounds terrible. And I would do it for $20. You know what I mean? God.
It's so true, bro. Yeah. But it teaches you to, appreciate those things.
Exactly.
So I feel like I always grew up ambitious. And this is why to me, everyone's like, oh, if you're an entrepreneur, you're probably just not a good employee too. You know what I mean? I don't believe that at all.
You're a lone wolf. No one's gonna tell you what to do.
Exactly right. That's what
you gotta make your own rules.
You can't listen to someone else.
I don't submit to authority. Dude.
Yeah. That's how they make it sound.
They go, I'm bad with authority.
But I feel in reality, it's probably the best employee to have. I would have hired myself over anyone else, knowing how I came to work and showed up and how I worked, and for any company that I worked for, whether it was a window shop supplement place, you know what I mean? That had one customer every hour, or whether it was, Lifetime Fitness, corporate environment. I always was I'm going to make sure I'm the most positive ROI possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I just always thought like that. So I don't know what the point of that was, but I was.
No, I mean, you were saying you were the best, you were the best employee no matter where you were.
Well, I was
you were having that entrepreneurial mind.
I was the best.
But you were saying that was the mindset you had, the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah. Well, I just feel
or that you were always ambitious growing up.
People make it sound wrong to be an employee.
Yeah.
In today's world, which I highly disagree with. You know what I mean? In the right environment with the right opportunity, it is not wrong. I don't understand what's wrong about it. It's literally a job. It's what has kept the world going around. It's a circulation of money.
Exactly.
For time. Like, it just makes sense. Anyways, so I was a kid, always grew up wanting to sell things. And this was what I was talking about to my friend yesterday. I said, play your strengths. Like, if you're really good at something, don't go into a career that you think can make you a lot of money not having an advantage, because everyone has an advantage in life in something. You're way better than me at a lot of things. I'm way better than you at a lot of things naturally. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you being really short and going to play basketball because you want to play basketball. It's like, let's be a little realistic. Play the short person sport if you're going to do a sport. You get what I'm saying?
If you want to do it competitively.
Exactly. Like, give your chance at least above the normal line.
Yeah.
So I've always done that. I feel like, even like, I was thinking, like, when you were talking earlier, I was like, even in VEMA, like, that plays to my strengths and my personality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, doing a job like that, but like sitting behind a computer and crunching an Excel file, there's people that are way better than that at me. No matter how good I get at it, and I'm a very smart guy and I will get fucking amazing at it, it's just not my strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think I've always done that. When I was a kid, my parents never like let me go on spring break and shit in high school. Like, I wasn't like fucking, all my friends were like, let's go to PCB, like in like 11th grade.
Let's go to that abandoned Burger King and hang out in a parking lot at the beach.
Everyone knows
drink.
it's Burger King. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the is it Pineapple Willie's? Is that what it's called?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Pineapple Willie's.
Is that what it's called?
Or like Senior Frogs. That was another one.
But that wasn't
that's
the one
not
there.
in Panama City.
No.
Anyways,
yeah. So I never went on those trips. I would always like work with my dad and stuff. And then I was telling my friend, my dad fired me at like, I'm gonna have him on the podcast one day, but like he'll tell us when. But like at age like 11 to 13, somewhere there, my dad fucking tossed me. He literally fired me for being too good. Swear to God. Like, and let that sink in.
That's amazing.
He fired me because I was too good. I was a 13-year-old kid. Let's call it 13. And I was like, hey, I want to work on weekends. I want to earn some money. He's like, hey, come sell flooring in my showroom. He had like a nice showroom off the highway. And he had like 4 salespeople, like a huge warehouse. And I basically went and I would sell. So I spent a week without selling anything, not watching other people how to sell, but reading everything I could about each piece of flooring. Like, think about how many kinds of wood there is, not just color, but like builds. There's engineering wood, there's solid wood, there's laminate. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's just like, there's depths to everything. Even carpet, like, is it a nylon, polyester, is it wool? Like, there's depths to everything. Tile, wood, carpet, like all those categories. And I just spent a week learning. I didn't know shit about it. Like, I went with my dad to like flooring jobs as a kid, so I knew about it. I just didn't know like what polyester is. You know what I mean? And shit, like what tile's good for what.
And you can become like an expert in a relatively short amount of time with stuff like Tim Ferriss talks about that. He's like, you can become a expert with like minimal effort.
For sure. Just absorb
you just have to learn
information
shit.
and
You have to learn
it.
shit. Exactly.
That's it. So I just learned about everything. And then I started selling after that. And as a 13-year-old, I was closing like $10,000 plus jobs as a 13-year-old and just like swiping people's credit cards. And at the time, people would write checks. It was all check based. Like, most of it, like, that was cash.
Yeah.
There's no like, you couldn't swipe your credit card for 20 grand. It wasn't a normal thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would write
now
a
it's
check.
just more convenient to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember when people were like, it's pointless to swipe my card for like $1? Like, dude, I'll swipe for like a 50-cent stick of gum.
They're
all
like
day.
25 cents for sauce. I'm like, here you go.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
But I remember my mom would always say, oh, we'll just pay cash. That's such a silly thing to put on your credit card.
Yeah.
Like, credit card felt like a dirty, like,
exactly
thing.
right.
Yeah.
And so like 20
That's
grand.
funny.
But it was cool. So I was like a little kid doing that. So I never reflected on this moment, but yesterday I was thinking about it. I was like, that kind of like made me understand that like a different way of thinking about money, because I never felt like it was something that was supposed to be scarce, because I was asking adults to hand me 10 grand and they would just hand me 10 grand as a 13-year-old. Let's call it even 15-year-old. Let's call it at the oldest moment of me working there, 15-year-old, let's say. Probably a safer story. I was probably 15. So I had some skills. Maybe 13. Anyways, so he fired me. He was like, I have other people that are working here, and they feel like you're taking their sales. Because I closed more than all the adults. It was 3 adults and my dad, and I closed more than all the salespeople that were full time. 10 years of flooring experience. You know what I mean? And he's like, Sue wants to leave. This guy wants to leave. They just don't feel like there's any work because you're kind of selling it. So I'm like, dude, it's a rotation, Dad. Like, it's 1 out of 5. I'm getting 20% of leads like everyone else is. I'm just doing more with them. Like, I'm making you more money. And like, he fired me because he's like, I need people to work in the weekday. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just like fire these guys and run the company by myself with my 13-year-old son on a weekend. And I was like, that's kind of fucked. Like, how hard is a dad to do that though? Think about like how much that must have sucked.
Yeah.
Like, you're his dad and you're like punishing your son for overperforming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Weird moment, really.
Very weird.
Never realized how it shaped me. But I was always like a curious person growing up. So like, I always like dug into what my dad was doing all the time. I was like curious. What are you doing, Dad? Oh, can I come with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, jump in the passenger seat and like watch him pick up like random Mexican guys at a Home Depot parking lot. You know what I mean? I'm like, Dad, in my head, I'm like, how the fuck do we just have like 5 dudes in our car like behind us? Like, we're getting hijacked anytime. Like, my dad just never even considered that as an option. He's like, get in. He's like, which one of you wants $30? 30, okay, 50, okay. You look, who can pay? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like,
I can imagine your dad.
Like, yeah. like, and what?
That's
like,
amazing.
They could just get in the car and like beat the fuck out of us, take the car in the car instead of $20. Never happened. But like, you know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck is my dad doing? Like, I remember always being in his passenger seat, seeing like the maps, like the 900-page maps. Did you ever use those? It was like, it would be like skip like 250 pages to get to the next line.
It's like an atlas.
Yeah. So I used to use those all the time. Those were fun. But so then I went to high school. I don't know. So I was always in private school for reference, and then I went to high school. High school was like cool, made some friends, but like looking back, didn't like shape me in any way, I guess. I really shaped myself in college, in my opinion.
But in middle school, so you were saying like earlier you were in Lebanon in the water parks. How much time were you spending in Lebanon? How much time were you spending in America? Just summers in Lebanon?
Summers in Lebanon, which was like long. That's like 3 months.
Yeah.
Something's in my eye.
So it's like what, like 25% of your childhood was in Lebanon?
Let's call it 20.
Okay.
We really missed like 1 year, 2 years max.
Yeah.
So like by the time I was 18, I think we missed 2 summers in Lebanon. Think about that. And like that's
a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a big like percentage of your time.
Big time. I had more friends there than I had here, like genuine friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I haven't been to Lebanon in 3 years at this point because of the summer right now, because of COVID last year, this year work.
And that's like the longest time you haven't been to Lebanon.
By far, yeah. I remember we were in Lebanon, and Lebanon's airport got bombed, and so U.S. sent a military ship to pick up its citizens, and like we escaped on a boat from Lebanon. They took us to Turkey. From Turkey, we were in the U.S. Air Force base. It was sick. It was the sickest experience ever, actually. It was like 15,000 people that were American Lebanese.
Whoa.
For like a week with basketball courts, foosball tables, ping pong tables.
I bet you like made really good friends there.
The like lifetime friends. Like so sick, right? Like
that's so cool.
You just met all the other Lebanese kids that were your age for a whole week. Like,
that's
you know
wild.
I mean? It's like I'll see you in Lebanon next summer, maybe. You know what I mean?
If the airport is built.
Worst case, you'll be in Chicago. You know what I mean? Like I know where you are. So it was cool. Wild. I wish I was older though. So I would have connected with those people even deeper.
Yeah,
as a kid, you don't have any control. You're not like gonna fly somewhere.
Yeah, accurate.
And like by 5 years later, you're probably some of them you're not friends with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, very Lebanese. Anyways, that was kind of my background. Went to UGA. That's how I got in. I always just fooled the system. You know, I played dumber than I was always. That's very important. I feel like. Really, I feel like that's very important. Like not showing your cards. Because it shows a lot about the other person always. You know what I mean? Like, is this person willing to take advantage of me in this situation? Like I don't know, just not showing how smart you are sometimes for longer allows people to really show who they are, and you can evaluate if you like that person or not a lot better. So I've always been that way. I've always been like fun and like all this stuff and kind of feeling like I'm oblivious to things, but in the back of my head, like I'm extremely observant, you know what I mean? And doing things with intention to see something. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense.
Yeah. My freshman year, I was like, I told this story on a later podcast. Inception. You're going to hear this again. But my first day of college, I went and like knocked on everyone's doors, and I never ate lunch with another person all semester. You've heard this.
Wait, I don't remember this.
Yeah, he told it during one of the podcasts.
But was it one where I was gone?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it wasn't. You were only gone for one.
I was gone for Ali Awad and the two other guys.
Oh, you were.
It might have been during one of those.
It was. So first day of college, I like realized that I could be whoever I wanted to be. And I was like, let me just meet as many people as I can. So I knocked on 9 floors of my dorm, 20 doors a floor, probably 20 to 30, probably 30 a floor, 9 floors. I knocked on every door, met everyone day one. And then for the whole semester, I never ate a meal with a same
You like
person.
just knocked on the door and introduced yourself? Like, hey, I'm Eddie. What's up?
Exactly. Hey, I'm on the 5th floor. I'm in room 514. Just want to introduce myself. You know, we're going to be here all year together. So I figured I'd say hi.
And they're like, people are like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah. That's it. You know, and then
And then they see
oh,
you
hey,
like,
that's Daniel.
oh,
and
what's
then,
up?
oh, yeah, hey, that's Eddie. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
That's a good, hell. That's,
and then
that's
I never ate lunch or breakfast with the same people ever. Like I always sat next to someone random. Like there'd be an empty cafeteria, one fucking person with 300 empty tables, and I'd sit I'd be like, hey, do you mind if I sit with you? And they'd look around like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
There's no one here. And
How many times out of 10 were they like weirded out
9.
and like didn't want to talk to you?
9. I sat anyways. I was, like,
Would you know other people in the cafeteria? Like you could have gone and sat with like friends,
all
but you
the
were
time,
like,
all the time.
that's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, especially as the semester went on.
Yeah.
But by then I knew everyone.
Yeah.
By like,
But you still sat with a rando.
Yeah. And but I remember like not every single meal by that point, but like as much as possible.
Yeah.
Still, I would
Yeah,
still
yeah.
be like, oh, that's a new person. Let me go meet him. And I
Because you just really just had that desire to just meet as many people as you could, or what?
Dude, it was like I was like I could be whoever I want to be. Let me just meet as many people as I can. And like, I figure the value. I always heard like, oh, college's value is network. You network. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, let me just meet everyone.
Yeah.
And like, I'll fucking be able to get into every frat party. I'll be able to go out every time I want to, play with sports players, find a crowd for basketball. Like anything I want to do, I'll have found if I meet a fuck ton of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
so
college.
true.
So, anyways, that's how
It's a
I
good way
operated.
of looking at it.
And then by October, I would walk through a cafeteria and be like, yo, Eddie, hey, Eddie. You know what I mean? So I played the cards right, because in high school I wasn't that person at all. So I was like, first day it was like, whoa, I can be this person. No one actually knows who the fuck I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In high school, it's like everyone knows who you are. Like from
Private
middle
school, yeah.
to like high school to like there's something. So, anyways, really took advantage of that. Sick thing I did in college was and this is like my highlight reel, obviously. You know, now that I'm like talking about it, I'm not like fucking amazing person. I fucking suck at a lot of things for sure. But like, you know, you're not listening to this because I suck.
I disagree.
I love you.
Terry's like, Eddie has never failed.
He's perfect.
Bias, slightly for sure. Still not getting that car. So what I did in college, this was sick. So this is actually the whole story, background. I forget I get my own episode. I'm like always trying to rush things, but like
You're good, bro.
here it is. So, in college, I remember I went to Lebanon a lot. I got like huge into fitness. You saw, like,
Yeah.
For all of you that don't know,
And you were kind of like chubby before, right?
yeah, I was fat my whole life. Actually,
Mm.
I was never actually in a good shape.
Mm.
And like in 1 year, I became like fucking Zeus level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fucking shredded.
Literally Zeus level. Like
Yeah.
whoever's editing this should put the picture of jacked Eddie over this part, because it was wild.
It was cool because like my whole life was not that at all.
And then you turned into fucking Superman.
Yeah.
You're just like,
So that was cool. So in doing that, I started like getting deeper into the supplement game in Lebanon and like seeing what was the options. I started doing research. Like I went to every supplement store in the country. I started seeing like
in Lebanon.
Yeah, I started seeing what they sold. Like there's not that many, but there's like 20, and let's call them like 20 like decent sized stores, right? Like 5 GNCs. Like there's like one that has 10 that's called like First Nutrition. There's another one called, I don't know, Move something. Anyways, like, there's like the main ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just see what they're selling. And I like went, I was like, fuck, this is all shit stuff. Like, it's actually shit. And I was like, I noticed everyone in Lebanon, the gyms, actually follows American supplements, American athletes, American influencers. Like, it was like when Shreds and shit was getting big.
Yeah.
EHP Labs. Do you ever remember EHP Labs? They were bigger than Shreds. That's how big they were.
Really?
Yeah. They're just like.
What was their logo like?
It was literally the EHP Labs. That's literally, it said
That's
that.
all it said. Huh.
Yeah. Anyways, so
I remember Shreds though.
of course, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, so I was like, okay, there's a huge need here in this market. No one can get these supplements, and the supplements that I have suck, and they don't have any of the athletes and the workout people.
Should show them the logo.
Oh yeah, that's the logo. Yeah, so they don't have any like important people that people really care about, and their supplements aren't like as amazing, So I was like, let me just see what I can do. So by the way, like if you're listening, law of attraction, everything in life, I 100% believe that it is like you can make anything you want happen if you really want to bad enough. And like the way people make that sound, I get it. It sounds like it's like if you just like sweat hard enough and like, you know what I mean? Like physical labor if you want it bad enough, but it's not that. It's just like really believing that that thing is not a big deal to attain and making the movements to get to it. And like, if you do that, then things will come to you. It's like when people say like, get better yourself and money comes. It's that same principle. It's like, you want something, think about it enough and like actually believe that it's possible and take small steps or big steps to get there. And like things will just happen in your favor to help you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like things anyways, I don't know what the tangent was that I came off of right there.
You were just talking about law of attraction.
So I was like, okay, I really want to do this. Here's how it happens. This is the actual story. So I went to the crazy small world. My friend Jad?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the first time meeting him. I'm actually friends with another Lebanese guy in college, and he's flying into Lebanon from Nigeria with his best friend, Jad, that I've never met. And I missed him. It was my friend that I hadn't seen in like a year and a half because he had to leave. His father died, and he had to leave UGA back to Nigeria to like run the companies and the family and everything. So hadn't seen him. So I'm like, I'm definitely going to pick him up. He's like, we land at like 2 a.m. and it's a 4-hour drive to get to our house from the airport. And I'm like, fuck it, dude, I'll take you. So I went and picked him up just in case I didn't actually show up. His cousin showed up who's like close by, right? He's like, just in case, I'm going to wait. And I ended up talking to his cousin. He ends up somehow, he went to the United States and was he was like the roommate of the co-founder of the biggest supplement distribution company in the US, meaning all the brands came to them and they went to stores.
Wow.
They were like the one. Like there was 2 that compete against each other, and more than half the world believed this was the stronger company. You know what I mean? They carried every brand. They had like 200 brands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I got that meeting through him. Like think about like the fucking chances.
Yeah.
Ended up driving these guys overnight. Became 2 of my closest lifelong friends. And dude, when someone does that for you, you're like, this is a good guy. You know what I mean?
Someone that drives 2 hours to the airport to pick you up. Yeah.
4 hours back to your house
exactly.
from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. like overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who doesn't need to? Lives in a water park in Lebanon. You know what I mean? Like that's
you make it sound like you lived in like a slide.
We did.
We did.
We
We live in a slide.
It's so cool. It's like a little
My
little
roof,
house
my roof
is
is
the
people
slide.
getting onto the slide.
Yeah.
No
It's
way.
That's my
sick.
rooftop.
It's sick.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
big pillar. Like you know the pillars
Yeah,
that
yeah.
have all the slides coming out of it. It's just a big one, and we are the rooms inside of it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would actually
So
walk
you literally lived in the water
out. We
park.
would like eat breakfast outside, and like people would just be smashing
Splash.
into the water in front of us. We'd love it.
It's so fun.
What?
Yeah, but we weren't like eye level with people.
You were,
We were
I literally
like
thought you were joking when you say we lived in a water park.
no, in a water park. We'd get up at 9 with our swimsuits on, like turn on the wave pool and like fucking hit the biggest waves, like in a fucking pool that fits 1,000 people. Like the day would end and we'd just be like, "You guys want to turn on the waves?" And we just turn on the waves. And
So
after
fun.
hours, dude, we turn on the slides and like do reckless shit in all the water slides. Like we actually lived in a water park, bro. We had a basketball court and a soccer field, and we had workers that weren't from Lebanon, like Syrian people and stuff that like worked with us in the company. So we gave them like shelter and homes and stuff. But it was in the water park too. It was like in the outside section.
Yeah.
And so at night we'd play soccer with like fucking pro Arab guys who like are like 30 years old. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
like kids and shit. We got so good. So like at night we'd like swim, go in slides. Like it was a fucking ridiculous childhood.
That's
in
it. But
Lebanon.
did you have to work all day at the water park?
I chose to.
Oh, okay,
I didn't
okay.
have to. I
Yeah.
chose to.
Yeah.
But like, you know, a lot
It
of
was
if
a
you're
fun job.
yeah,
you
and
know?
but
Yeah.
think about it. I could always take off my work clothes and just play any moment I wanted to. And I did on demand. But for most of the time I worked and I chose to work. But like, dude, the members, think about it. There's people that are members that are your age. So over time you start building friends. Like you play basketball with people, you go in slides with people, you hit the wave pool, you eat with people. And as you grow older, now more new people that are your age start coming in, and now you're smoking hookah with people, you're having drinks with people. It's like you just always have a crowd, and like you own the fucking place at the end of the day. It's
You
actually
literally
sick.
own it.
You literally own it. Like
That's sick.
It's sick because we walk into any restaurant we want, and we're like, "Hey, I want like 2 hookahs and like shish kebabs, and make me French fries, and make me this one drink exactly like this." And like they're like, "Sure." And then like 2 minutes later, you have everything.
It's
You know what I
actually
mean?
so cool. When I first met Eddie and he was like, "Come to my water park," I was like, "Okay, this is."
You're like,
You know what I
huh?
mean? It's like 11 p.m. and I'm coming to this water park, and I show up and just his family's just lounging at the wave pool. Like some cool lights are on, the waves are on, their family's swimming. I was like, oh my God, what is this? And it's imagine going into Six Flags when no one is there
But everything is on
and
for
everything
you.
is on for you. The restaurants, the food, the drinks.
That's
Like-
literally a kid in a candy shop.
A chef will stay till like 11 p.m. just in case we want to eat something. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
sick.
Literally Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
yeah, but in a water
In
park.
a water
That's
park.
actually very relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a hotel. They're kind of stuck in the hotel.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
when we were kids, we were in the water park all
Just
the time.
playing around.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Bro,
That's
ice
awesome.
cream stands, you know what I mean? I was swimming all day with my friends that come out. I'm like, yo, can we get like 4 ice cream cones? You know what I mean? For my friends. And like all my friends would just eat and drink and shit for free. And then like as I grew older, my parents made it aware to me that like people were taking advantage of me. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought it was just like normal that everyone gets free shit. Like maybe, you know.
They're only friends with you because you're giving them free ice cream every single fucking day.
Yeah, how do I explain this? Eddie? You know what I mean? Their dad is literally asking you for free ice cream.
Yeah, their
Getting out
dad.
of hand.
Their dad.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So right now, like your parents are over there. Are they staying at the water park?
They are some days yes, some days no.
Huh.
They're there right now not to be in a water park, but they're there to sit in a mountain with a nice home and a pool deck in a mountain with nothing and cool air, and also people cleaning and cooking for you basically. You know what I mean? Like actually relaxation with people. Like there's all their
All their friends.
they have
live there
so
and
many
stuff.
great friends there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even right now, like Terry's parents are there hanging out with my parents in their mountain home,
Yeah.
hours away from the airport. You get what I'm saying? They're just fucking lounging and
Just living life.
living life. Literally, money is worth 30x what it is 2 years ago. So they're like eating anything they want for like $2.
That's
I'll
insane.
take a filet mignon, 20 ounces. It's like,
That'll be $5.
dude, Terry had some lady go to her mom, manicure, pedicure,
Yeah.
everything else, whatever. Everything else goes to.
A manicure
it's
and a pedicure is a lot. Imagine
Yeah.
like having somebody drive to your house. Like that's base $100 already there. You know what I mean?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, right.
To come to you and do all of it, yeah.
If you go to them here in Alpharetta, it's like $130 like to go to them. So imagine them coming to you. Anyway, she paid $1.10 all in.
Oh, $1.10. That's insane.
It's sad though because that's everyone else in
standard
that
for
country. Exactly.
That sucks.
But 2 years ago, that job used to make her 100,000. Let's call it 50,000. Now it makes her 1,500.
It's so
But
sad.
it takes 10,000. It takes 20,000. It gets even worse. It's bad. Like everything outside of Lebanon's in the dollar, but when it inflates in Lebanon, then everyone's money in Lebanon is actually worth like 15x less. And they can't adjust salaries to pay 15x more. They can't even adjust salaries to pay 1 times more. They're actually the opposite scenario. It's like an endless pit. It's actually very sad.
Dude, it's extremely sad. It's like, dude, no wonder there's like certain countries that are talking about developing their own like crypto and stuff like that.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to decentralize.
Because how do you stand a chance?
Someone's bleeding money in the back and no one's saying anything. And then at the end, they're like, oh, in order for us to pay our U.S. loans, we need to get everyone in the country to inflate the currency so that they have to spend more of their money to make less of our dollars so we can pay other people outside of Lebanon. You get what I'm saying? That's a cycle.
Yeah.
Tough cycle. Anyways,
Very
I'm not here
tough.
to talk about depressing stuff.
Yeah, let's get back to the.
But here's why the story's cool.
The water park.
No,
My roots were in Lebanon. So I got the supplement. I had the meetings with them, and I, in the conference, finessed meetings with like the biggest companies. Like the ones I didn't have meetings through these distributors. When I got to the conference, I fucking worked the floor. I got to managers. I got to the fucking whoever it was. I got to the back meeting rooms in these conference rooms and accidentally walked in to like huge meeting rooms with like owners I admired over social media. And like, this is what I'm talking about, dumber than you make yourself seem. Like accidentally stumbled. I would walk in and be like, hey, is this the room for blank, blank, blank? Oh, no, it's not. And I would like have noticed that like he wasn't doing anything. I'm like, hey, I feel like I know you from somewhere. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, cool. Like make it casual.
Yeah.
And then be like, yeah, I was going to present them with this business plan. We're taking it to the Middle East. We're just going to meet up and get like a final approval on exclusivity. Like we're going to just, finalize the deal. Oh, what is it? Now they get curious. So like, what is this other company doing? And then they would read and they'd be like, I'm in. Like, I'm in. How many years of exclusivity do you think you need for this? Be like 2 years. And like played it casual, and fucking billionaires, I was like playing my cards correctly to get into the room, were fucking signing contracts. And I brought that back to my parents. I'm like, they were like, that's sick, but like I don't think they knew what I actually fucking did. No one actually knew what I fucking did. No one to this day. Like I think I can't exaggerate it enough. I'm under exaggerating what I actually did.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it again if I tried. Right now, with all my assets, resources,
Yeah.
money, team, companies, everything, I couldn't. There's no way I could do it. I would bet against it.
Wow.
Like that's how impossible I did. Dude, the top 15 companies, I was signing these guys. These guys make fucking tens of millions of dollars. Hundreds, some of these companies. And a 21-year-old came and got them to sign a legal agreement binding them to his pocket for 2 years in an entire region, Middle East, Dubai, all these countries. You know what I'm saying? Like a big market. It wasn't like the city of Duluth, Georgia. You know what I mean? It was a fucking Middle East. So anyways, I pursued that for 2 years. So in that time, after I graduated, I did this like last year of college when that was ongoing. I was like, I need a job just to stay like, this is back to being like a good employee. I didn't have the heart to work somewhere that I felt like I was going to be a permanent piece and I couldn't leave for the sake of the business owner. So I didn't work anywhere where I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this as a career. I was like, listen, I'm looking for something temporary, 6 months, in and out. I wasn't trying to like start a job where I'd have to train for months and have the business owner depend on me really. I wanted to be replaceable still. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I knew what my goal was with that business. So I worked at First Nutrition Alpharetta supplement company. Learned a lot about supplements there. But also I had my own suppliers at this point, so I knew the whole fucking industry inside out. Like I was bringing new SKUs and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this one in Lebanon. And like, I showed him the plan. He's like, this is fucking nuts. Can I invest in it? You know what I mean? Like, it was like, yo, how the fuck did you do this? I was like, nah, I'm good. We're rich in Lebanon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, that's the one place we have money. So anyways, did that. And then I went and tried to see what my degree could actually get me after college. And I had a marketing degree. And this is still in the meantime, right? I'm still figuring it out. So first nutrition was my last semester of college. I drove to college, and essentially that was my last semester of college. And then I graduated, and then I was like, let me see what I can get marketing job. So I searched for marketing, like actually marketing. Like I knew how to run ads and shit. I was like, this is a fucking skill set. Like bring me in, bitch. I'm gonna fucking make some money. And I basically went and applied at every marketing job and realized that every job labeled marketing was actually like a fucking ground sales job, like direct TV at a Costco or something, disguised as a marketing job. And they would like take you through this fancy interview process I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? So on the way home,
so annoying,
right? Stupid. On the way home, I had
like
a suit.
you're gonna sell phones at Verizon.
Yeah. Dude,
it's like,
you fucking put marketing director on your fucking thing. Like, this is what we came to.
This is a sales position.
Come on, bro. Like,
yeah. So annoying.
Looking back, I should have inquired more over the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But still.
Yeah, I thought I was like at the mercy of the employer. You know what I mean? At the time. And I didn't look at myself as an asset. So, well, I did. Don't get me wrong. I knew I was a fucking asset. It was just more like.
But you didn't want to be You didn't want to be like irreplaceable to that business owner and stuff like that.
Yeah, still. So I was like, lifetime, great opportunity. So on the way back home, I stopped by Lifetime. I basically went to Lifetime. They wouldn't give me a job. They were like, there's no opening. Sorry, leave. Whatever, apply online. I'm like, I did already. No one answered. Like, I'm not leaving till you guys give me a job. They gave me a job. Like, I fought for it. Long story short, the manager basically wouldn't come out, and so the assistant manager came out, and then he was like, this guy's actually fucking sick. You should talk to him. And then manager gave me an interview time, and then I talked to him, and then I got the job. Anyways, got that. I fucking crushed it for Lifetime. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I humbly say I was definitely the most valuable employee in that fucking company, outside of probably like top level management in that company. Like, I brought stupid amounts of sales. I turned every department around just from my sales, and the level of my onboarding process, looking back, was the cleanest ever. And I turned
for Lifetime.
Yeah. Like, I onboarded people. I was just telling Terry, she got a massage the other day, and like, they knew me so well. And it's been 5 years since I worked there. And they were like, oh yeah, Eddie, yeah, what up? Like, yeah, I brought more spa sales, just little things, more spa sales and cafe sales from and personal training sales. So think about all the departments.
Yeah. And because in your onboarding process, you like explained the stuff to them deeply, and like showed them all the things, and then you like sold them on the extra stuff.
I sold them on everything at the same time.
Like, you could go to the Life Cafe and be like, yo, like, you could go after your workout and go get some crappy like fast food, but you could come here and spend like $16 on like a bowl, and it's like got all the macros, and they're like, oh, that's a really good idea. You're right. I am trying to like get in shape. That's why I'm joining this gym. So I might as well, blah, blah, blah.
Dude, I would open up a tab in my manager's name and get them a snack or a drink.
Yeah.
Like, you got to try these drinks. You guys like this kind of flavor? Oh yeah, you got to try this. It's on me. Don't worry. Like, and they'd be like, fuck, this place is amazing. And then I'd fucking see them in there all the time because my office was in front of the cafe. And I'd see my members just like buying shit all the fucking time, getting massages all the time, like working with personal trainers. You like normalize
it. You're like, oh yeah, I get my hair cut right here. You know,
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Like
I would fucking work out with Ben.
Because then they're like, oh, that's what you do here.
Yeah.
You're like just following the crowd. And they're like, what do members do at Lifetime?
Exactly. So
you're like teaching them. That's sick.
I was actually very valuable. I was actually supposed to get a promotion month 3 to like a manager position. But I passed up out of the goodness of my heart because I knew so in order for me to do it, someone else would basically have to move to a different location, like outside of the state, to get the physician, and like their life actually kind of depended on it. And I basically, I wasn't in that situation. So they told me this in a meeting. They said, yeah, we'd promote you and then we'd move this person here. And I was like, I know that person can't move there right now. So I know I'm going to be out of here for my Lebanon business. That's how I'm thinking. It's still, I haven't closed the account yet. Like I'm still banking on that. So I'm like, okay, it's okay. Like I'm good. You don't need to promote me. And so like I delayed it for like 3-4 months. And like month 6, they're like, hey, listen, it's happening. You can literally pick any club in Georgia. Here's the options. You can do this. You can be a sales manager here. Whatever it was. I don't know what the position was anyways. It was a 6-figure salary and I was like 21. So I was like, this is fucking sick. But I just felt like mentally capped out mentally. I think I've told you this for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guess this is more for the listeners, right?
Yeah.
So I was mentally capped out from an effort standpoint. Like it was just too easy. Like I was the best and I was doing nothing to be the best. Like, don't get me wrong. I showed up at 5 a.m. every day. I worked out at 5 a.m. on my own will. I left at midnight. I had nothing to do except go to the gym, work out again, go home, sleep, eat, repeat. I was just being a machine. I was being hardworking as fuck. Like I didn't give a fuck. And everything I did, that's how I was.
I saw some like Instagram posts about something like that recently where it was like every person that is like successful in any marginal way has had like a grind period where like they didn't do anything except for like work really fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like
nothing else.
Sleeping at the office and like, you know, just like crazy ass hours and days and stuff like that. Like everyone's gone through like a period like that where like that's all you can do.
Yeah. And so as
it's a robot.
Yeah. So as I got older, I basically became more responsible in families' businesses too. Like in the water park, instead of being a lifeguard, I started thinking like, how can we make more money? How can we market it better? How can we, you know what I mean? Like, how can we like make more revenue? Not just like, how can I be a lifeguard? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
how can I manage the lifeguards? How can I do this? So levels there started leveling up. Anyways, Lifetime offered me the promo. I left. I had a conversation with my dad. I took an 80% pay cut and I worked with my father under a contingency that I would get paid if I made him more money than he made the year before, based on how much more money he made. He agreed. I made him a lot more that year. So I made money that year. I didn't make like more than I was getting offered, but I made just as much basically. And I learned the fuck out of marketing. I was like you, but like from a more advertorial side, you know what I mean? Like I had to buy a camera. I was the only one that knew how to take photos or videos of any kind, which a very basic level, that wasn't my strong suit, but like I built websites for him. I ran ads on Google, on Facebook, on different platforms. Like we're talking like ages ago, aggressively trying to like scale up an actual company. And I did it to all his companies and it worked for all of them. And then from there, I realized everyone actually needs this shit. Like in college, marketing is like the easy loser degree that has no use. In life, marketing's actually the most important part of every business. Like everyone. Like the way you think about accounting, like accounting is a secure degree because like everyone needs an accountant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every person that actually has any business or any sort of potential to actually want to make money needs marketing.
100%.
It is everything.
And I think that's one thing that like you've been really good at, just like naturally at marketing and stuff like that. But I think some people just don't know how to like garner attention at all or like gather eyeballs. Like they're like, we want to start this thing, but we don't know like how to present it. And it's like, well, you just make like content. You know what I mean? Like it's like a no-brainer for us.
Yeah, actually I had friends, Terry heard this call. I had friends that were like asking me for advice on like, we know you're doing marketing, like we're being doctors, we bought this office, we're doing this, we have sick connections, like what do you think we should be spending on ads? Like how much should we spend on ads? And like I was like, nothing. You guys should like fucking post on your Instagram. Let's start there. Hello? Like, yeah, I mean we post. I'm like, yeah, nothing about being a fucking doctor. So why the fuck would I ever go to you for anything doctor related?
Right.
Duh. Like my perception is you're partying all the time. Not that you're working 80-hour weeks. You don't show that. So like on a very basic level of marketing. It's like, I don't know. I just never like I never like think about things like that. I'm like, duh, like,
yeah,
do this, duh, do this, duh, do this, you know. It's definitely, I feel like, a blessing. It's been through my family's businesses too, though, because I actually got, you know, marketing companies don't get full range of control and motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like with my parents' companies, like it went from like me getting approval to me telling my dad to fuck off. I'm doing it anyways. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Dad, it's going to make us so much fucking money. I'm doing it anyways. And then I'd be right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this fucking genius. How'd you do that? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like, I was like 22 and designing checkout systems through like bought softwares and through like not even web platforms. Like I would use bought automations and softwares to create e-tickets that were scannable inside the amusement park and redeemable and like deeper
Dang.
level shit as a marketer. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
like running photos and boosting a post. I was like really like trying to figure out how to fucking like play the game and win in ways people can't win in because they don't know how to. And so I got really fucking good at this shit
Yeah.
really fast because I got to do it, see the results, do it again, and like actually split test.
There's so much value in getting good at a skill that like a lot of people don't know. Like I was thinking about the other day because I met this girl that was like she like does sewing and stuff like that, and makes clothes, and I'm like, what a like crazy skill. And then I started thinking about like, oh, my backpack is starting to break. If I knew how to sew, I could probably like fix it. Like, you know what I mean? Or like,
yeah.
oh, my pants got a like hole. Now I got to buy new pants. Like, or if I knew how to do that, you know what I mean? But if I took it to a tailor, they'd be like, oh, it's super easy. I'll do it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think about that with like videos. You know what I mean? Like my mom is like, how do I put 2 videos together? And I'm like, that's like the simplest first step of making any video in Premiere Pro, let alone doing all the rest. You know what I mean? So it's almost like learning a new language when you learn a skill like that, because people that don't speak that language are like, how are you doing that? You're like, I don't know. I'm just speaking the language. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree. It's cool. You know, it's cool. Actually, they're like, people are like, you know, people are like, oh, don't work with your spouse and stuff. You know, I actually really like that my wife is in my room. Not just for the fact that I can like look at her anytime I want in the day or talk to her, like, but it's cool because we appreciate each other differently too. Because I see the amazing things she does at work, and vice versa. She sees me on like every fucking call, everything I say. You know what I mean? And like, she like sees her husband in action, and vice versa. I see her like fucking doing cool ass shit all the fucking time. I'm like, that's my fucking wife. You know what I mean? That's some badass shit. So
that is awesome.
I agree. I love you.
That is fucking awesome.
Anyway, so, and here we are. Now we are at 4MEDIA. It's been a fucking ride. It's cool.
So how did you go from your dad's stuff to 4MEDIA? What were those years like? And you didn't even talk about how you met Terry.
Yeah.
Rude.
Okay, here. So which came first? Which came first? From your dad's marketing stuff to 4MEDIA, or did you meet Terry before 4MEDIA? No. So, which came first, Terry or the egg?
The egg.
Terry or 4MEDIA?
4MEDIA.
4MEDIA came first.
Technically, because it was being built up before it was an LLC. Right? Like I was 4MEDIA before it was 4MEDIA on paper.
Yeah,
but technically, they were both conceived the same day.
Wow.
I met Terry the same day that 4MEDIA was approved by the IRS with its own tax ID.
Wow.
Crazy.
Destiny.
Yeah. Meant to be.
Yeah. I attracted my wife. I'll leave that for another episode. We're going to have segments on wives for sure.
Hopefully by the time this episode drops, the freaking wedding page for your wedding will be live with the speeches. And there's a speech of how you met Terry.
There you go.
From your wedding.
And hopefully Terry will have posted the photos of our wedding.
Tonight.
She said tonight for 7 years.
And the thing is, by the time you're listening, it's probably happened, hopefully, because tonight means tonight.
Yikes. So, I don't know where we were at this point.
4MEDIA.
Which came first, Terry or
4MEDIA. Dude, I worked. I don't think anyone really understands. Some people do. Like Gabe understands because he saw it.
Yeah.
Terry understands because she saw it. A couple friends do, but like no one really knew how much I was working, but like I was definitely working 100 and I want to be reasonable. Like realistically, I was working 90 to 110 hour weeks, depending on the week. That's a lot of hours. Like that's all I was doing was just working for a year with my dad. So lifetime, think about if you really think about it on a deeper level, lifetime 6 months, a year with my dad. So now we're 18 months in. Okay. And then from the point we're at right now, 4 years of 4MEDIA, right? All like literally just grind mode. Like I don't really, the only time I've ever taken like a real vacation was my wedding. And before that was 3 years ago in Thailand. And even then I was going to bars with my cousin. I'd get back at 5 a.m. He'd pass out. I'd be hammered. I'd bust open a laptop. Swear to God, ask Terry. I'd bust open a fucking laptop because it was American time. And I'd communicate with clients, right? Like via WhatsApp and email. And I would build landing pages, ad campaigns, and fucking actually make sure my job was done. And I had a team that I was paying, 2 employees, and they dropped the fucking ball that night. And that's why I did it. I was like, I'm getting on at 5 a.m. because that's when they wake up and I need to make sure
they handle this shit.
That I make sure I take care of it. I'm saying because the clients
pissed.
No, not pissed yet. They don't even it's not. But I will potentially lose this client.
I see.
Or not do the job that I said I would do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was just like, I've been grinding, I believe, harder than most people for, at that point, 5.5 solid years, let alone the time that I spent like doing the stuff in Lebanon with a supplement company. You know what I mean? But I've been like definitely dedicated. So like 4MEDIA is the compoundation of all those, because they've all been focused towards the same thing. They just haven't been called 4MEDIA.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? But what the craziest part is like, I feel like right before COVID, I've always like paid money to like spend time with better off people and also buy information from better off people that would save me time and skills. Like since the beginning of our relationship, like I remember my dad, I paid $3,000 to go spend a day with someone, and I paid $5,000 because it was me and my wife. Well, at the time, just my girlfriend. She wasn't my fiance, and we'd go and spend $5,000 to spend a day with someone, with a bunch of other random people too, and like just to try to learn something, and then leave and do it again over and over again. And I would always pay to be in better circles all the time. I would look at like that as like the purpose of money, like. What else am I making any money and saving it for, if not to meet better people and to be a better person? Like, like I'm in my 20s, dude. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking 50 with kids. Like, I'm in my 20s. It's just me. Like, I can always figure out a way to make money.
Because you're like, once I have the money, what do I want to do? Oh, I want to be in better circles and meet better people.
That's
so I might as well just do that.
Might as well fucking do that with the money.
That's a very good point.
From the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I always operated. We would have twice the cash as a company right now on hand if I didn't operate like that, but we would not be on anywhere near of a trajectory that we are right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, which one would you rather have? Half the money, but like you're like the company will double every 3 months moving forward. You know what I mean? Or like more money and like, hey, we're treading on slowly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just a big difference. So
that's like Mr. Beast on YouTube. Like he literally, like he grew so much because every video he made, he would put all of the ad revenue back into another crazier video.
Buy a car.
Yeah.
And fucking smash
and you're
it.
like, yeah, and you're like, who is this guy? And he would do just crazier and crazier and crazier shit.
Donate cars and shit all the time.
And you're like, how is it even possible he's making this much money? And that was when you realize like these YouTubers were making a lot of money, but they were treading on slowly because they weren't like investing back in their own production. They were just like kind of doing the same shit and slowly growing over time. But he just kept upping and upping and upping and upping until it was like, holy shit, he's the biggest thing we've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
That's crazy. I never like looked into that.
yeah, but he would just invest everything back rather than like, just like realizing he's at a certain level and just being like, sick, I can just like buy Lambos and shit and like keep making the same level of videos and just live a sick life. But he's like, no, my life like is good. I'll just keep living like normal, but I'm just gonna like invest everything back in the business. And he never like, I mean, now he's definitely taking a more mature look at it, but at the time he was just young and crazy and would be willing to do anything for money just as a mind experiment almost, you know?
Yeah.
Wild.
I mean, it paid off. How much do you think this guy was
100%.
making a month?
I mean, he still is making millions a month. Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, now he's got a bunch of different ventures. You know, he's invested in a lot of
burgers
stuff.
and shit.
Yeah, and like he's put a lot of money into like things that have done well. And,
Yeah.
you know, just stuff like that. He makes so much money on merch, I'm sure. Stuff like that, you know? Because he'll also, that's a genius thing what he did as well. I mean, this is a marketing podcast after all. He would basically, every like shirt you got like a possible, he wouldn't like count it by like you get a number of entries, but he would like do a kind of giveaway thing where he's like, someone who buys one of my shirts is gonna get in one of my videos, and you know what happens in my videos, people get money in cars and shit. So it was like people were like, damn, like all I got to do is buy the Mr. Beast merch, and like I could be in the video.
Giveaway model.
Yeah, it's a giveaway model, but like a little more with like a little small twist on it, like not as much of like this equals one giveaway. The more you buy, the more chances. It's more like, oh, well, yeah, I guess so. He just plays it like super casual. And you're just like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. Genius though.
Yeah, wild. But anyways, you're kind of saying you do the same shit. Like you could have taken a break, and like you've mentioned to me, I think we've even mentioned on the podcast, but like if you were just doing your own thing, freelancing as a one single person, you'd be making more money doing that than like what you're doing right this second with 4MEDIA.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't think people realize like what actually running a business properly, and I don't know shit about running a business, don't get me wrong. Like, you know what I mean? I know way more than most people, but nowhere near actual people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm fucking 27. How much can I possibly know as much as I do? So I say
you don't know how to run like State Farm.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like that's like
you know how to run a business, but not like
exactly.
a fucking
I mean,
like
we have a team of 50 plus. So like most people don't get to that point in their life. Like,
no.
50 plus full-time people, not like fucking 50 plus like hourly wage 15 hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in the water park we have, you know, let's say 80 employees, but like
the jobs are simple and like it's
exactly. It's like 80
it's not
employees.
a crazy process. Like people come to water park, play in pool, eat food.
Exactly.
Like the business model is not very complicated.
Yeah, and the payroll isn't very heavy per person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, we're definitely further than like in college. I mean, so for reference, life of like the business owner is actually way more stress than people think. They always think he's like the guy kicking it back.
Mm-hmm.
A good one is not that guy. And like they always think he's just fucking caking. And in reality, the good one is not that guy.
Yeah.
Or the company suffers because of it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, you know, I say that with perspective, saying like when their companies are doing really well, like taking out $50K a month to pay yourself is not going to kill the company. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
in the stages of the growth of the company early on, that will kill the company.
Yeah,
which is where most people take out ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah.
For reference, on Friday we netted a 6-figure day net as a business, and I took out $0.
Yeah.
And had no plan, and went home and told my wife to cook food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Enjoy cooking food for you listeners. He didn't just say,
I don't mean that
hey,
in a disrespectful
yeah. It sounded like
I'm told that bitch to flip that burger.
I told that bitch to make me a burger.
She made me a sandwich. So yeah, no, I love my wife.
That's hilarious.
No,
it wasn't like that.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean,
Terry actually makes bomb ass food.
Bomb. I'm blessed.
I've had some bomb ass food from Terry.
Bomb ass food. She was trying to make some chicken wings tonight, I think, or
I was. But
some
this
crazy.
This
We'll go to
podcast is
Andy's
running
instead.
late.
Yeah.
Andy's works. We can settle.
None of us ate dinner.
We'll settle.
We had Sarku.
So, but yeah,
This podcast is sponsored by Power Soccer.
and that's kind of where we're at as a company now, I guess. It's crazy, huh? Like, you've been here for like fucking 9 months. 9 months.
Yeah,
No, 10 months now.
something. It's getting close to a year. Like, close enough.
You're right. Beginning of September would be 10 months. So you're 10 days away from 10 months.
Yeah, crazy.
Bro, we haven't even started.
I know.
We
Yeah.
literally just started figuring shit out like 3 months
It's
ago. I feel
very wild because when you started casting the vision to me, very early on, we talked about the type of content that we'd make for 4MEDIA, and every single one of them has come true and even more,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, we were like, how sick would it be if we had a reality show about our work? Like, how sick would that be? And like, you know, when there's a bunch of episodes and our clients are like, can go back and watch a whole show about our company.
Yeah.
We're like, that'd be crazy. And we literally
It's
have
happening.
that.
Yeah.
We literally have that. There's like 8 episodes filmed.
That's sick.
Like, and like,
We
we're
need
like,
to
dude, we're
document more,
gonna,
though.
we
We
need
need
to
to
have a
document.
pod. Yeah.
We need to like vlog more.
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
someone who actually captures
Yeah.
a lot of the progress that's
Like
happening.
the daily. Yeah.
The
I
show doesn't
agree.
do a good job showing how fucking.
Well,
how
I think we'll
sick the
get
show
better
is.
at it.
Yeah.
I think we'll get better at that because
But
more big wins are starting to happen where it's like almost unavoidable to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But even
yeah.
the raw stuff, like for example, last night I found a video from 2 years ago, and I'm actually gonna post this on the 2-year
She showed-
anniversary.
you saw it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. Tell the podcast
Yeah.
listeners.
So I found a video 2 years ago in February, a year and a half ago now, but we were sitting in Eddie's parents' basement, and it was Eddie, Fredo, Gabe, and I. And we were just eating Taco Bell, and we had our setups on picnic tables. And I took a selfie video, and I said, mark my words, I'm going to retake this video in 2 years' time, and let's see where we're at. And we are a year and a half after I took that video. And I don't even know, like, did you even imagine yourself being here right now, Eddie?
No, definitely not.
Like you said, 50 plus employees. You know, we have the sickest office space. We have a set of
Well, it's not about being here financially or anything.
No,
I
that's not
definitely
what I'm
imagine
saying.
that.
Like, not even financially. Because, again, financially, like, yes, as a company, but, like, you literally take every penny and you reinvest it into this company. You are the most selfless person when it comes to a business, and I think a lot of people don't know that or don't think that, or like you said, from the outside they look in, they're like, oh shit, you know, Eddie's got a BMW, Eddie's got this, like, look at his company, he probably has so much money. Like, no, like, we literally take everything and reinvest it back into the company, and I think that's what makes us so special, and I think that's what is going to make us grow to be the best e-com marketing company in the world, like, truly. And I'm not even saying that because you're my husband and we've built this, and I think that you've done things the right way. Even before you and I met, you've done everything the correct way to get to this point, and hiring people like Andrew and like the team that we have, you've done everything correctly. We've let go of the people who are not an asset to us, and it's just, I mean, it's incredible. And I think that's where it goes back to like us vlogging, because I want to be able to watch this later on and be like, holy shit. Like, I wish that we just had a video crew around us every day from start to finish. But it's really humbling to honestly just be part of this. It's truly incredible.
That was fucking amazing.
I feel like we needed an applause on that. Do you know which one is applause, Terry? I felt like I was at a TED Talk. That was glorious, Terry.
Yeah.
I felt like I was at a TED Talk about like how I grew this company or something like that.
Yeah. It was intense.
Sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
that was good.
go deep, but like,
That was
really,
good.
Like, Eddie and I did, and I think Eddie and I did long distance for 3 years, and even when we would still see each other every month. Maybe there was like a 2-month period where we didn't,
Max.
where we couldn't see each other, but he made the effort to fly out to California every month or fly me into Atlanta to spend some time.
Give yourself credit. You flew yourself.
No, okay, I flew myself, but like I saw his vision the way you saw, you know what I mean? I saw his vision from the very beginning, and he wasn't just flying to California to come and hang out with his girlfriend. He was flying to California to sit with his girlfriend while he was on his laptop working his ass off from morning to night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I at times I was like, oh, you know, like, let's go do something. But he still really made time for that. But like, I saw the end game, and we're not even close to the end game, but I saw that and I saw how dedicated he was, and I was like, okay, like this is real. This isn't just, you know, in your mind you're like, okay, there's some kid on his laptop, like he has no employees, he's just like doing shit on the computer, like what is he even doing, you know? So so just like seeing that like transform over the years, and like you putting in the effort and the time and your energy, like you gave me a lot of energy, but I don't, where did you get that energy to also give to 4MEDIA? You know what I mean? Like you gave so much, and you're always giving so much. And I'm not even doing this to hype you up. I'm just like, as a human being, you are just,
it's like,
you, no,
I'm like overwhelmed.
You were just like,
Barry doesn't do this all the time.
I
Okay.
I know. But like, you're just an incredible human being. And I think that's why
Are we walking down the aisle?
we are in,
I was gonna say, damn.
I know.
She proposed.
This is like the speech you gave after the wedding.
I know. It kind
It's a
of
good
is, but more like for media is like just my baby, I feel, you know, like really, I was with you from start to finish, and
you were
just
making
like
ads 3 years ago behind me.
Yeah, I was just like sitting on
Black
Canva.
Friday.
Making ads for
Like,
like Burger King.
Yeah, pumping numbers.
Yeah. It's really,
That's
Burger
sick.
King,
It's
bro.
incredible.
Burger King.
yeah. Yeah,
Crazy.
see, like what? No,
Okay, I don't
you
think people
listeners
understand.
don't
what-
understand.
Eddie was doing ads for Burger King.
Like how
by
did
himself.
how did this
With
25-year-old
Terry
boy
on the graphic design.
on Canva,
on Canva.
rushing, opening up e-commerce channel in Lebanon for Burger King.
Yeah.
Like they didn't
Crazy.
exist, and we were selling tickets to shit.
Yeah.
And we were getting people to swipe their card and get it delivered to their door,
Yeah.
paying cash.
Wow.
Like people don't understand and will never understand. Like there's probably like a handful of people that know that we ran ads for Burger King.
But like, what did we do too? It was actually nuts.
I remember looking on the
we
4MEDIA website
negotiated-
and seeing Burger King as a client. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Dude, you
Like,
don't understand
what?
how deep it went. We negotiated with the Postal Service of Lebanon and 2 private companies to be able to execute the campaign that we needed, because we needed like 200 delivery drivers to do what we were going to do. Like it was like that strategic of a campaign. It wasn't like we're going to run ongoing ads. We're like, hey, listen, we want to cut. Here's the idea. Take it or leave it. And they're like, run it. And so they gave us all the assets, the money, everything. They're like, run this bitch.
Run it.
Yeah.
Like
Damn,
we came
that's
up
sick.
with logistics. I wasn't like, sorry, we don't do that. I'm like, give us a cut. We'll do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we're like, dude, we're
figured out a
negotiating
way
with
to
like,
do it.
yeah, we had spreadsheets of every order. Dude, we're talking like, you're talking like 6,000-7,000 orders a day in a country that only has 1 million people. Do the math. You know what I mean? Like in a matter of a week, 30% of the country had bought what we were selling. 30%.
That's insane.
Fucking nuts. Thank you. You get what I'm saying?
That's wild.
Yeah. That's why I think I got good at marketing, is because like I always just tried shit, and it wasn't like, that's not in my alignment of services. I was like,
You're
fuck
like,
it,
I'm
I'll
about to
figure
get
that
paid
shit
to
out.
learn this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it'll be this much. So like, here you go. I'm like, I'll fucking figure
You're
this
like,
shit.
I've never tried to do this, but I've
I'll
could
learn
figure it out,
so
and I'll get
much.
paid to
And-
learn. Basically,
And I always would try to actually
Yeah.
succeed, and most of the time
Yeah, of
I
course.
did. You know what
Of
I mean?
course.
Like, I really gave 110% to every person I worked with.
That was some of the best advice one of my friends told me with video editing. My friend Andrew, he told me that if there was ever a project that you felt you probably could do, but you were not qualified, he was like, always take it.
Yeah.
It's like, you'll figure out a way. Like if you actually give a fuck, you'll figure out a way, or you'll figure out someone that can help you or whatever. Take on the project and do it anyways, and you'll get paid to like learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And I was always like, dude, that's so smart.
Yeah.
Because like there would be certain video type things that was like, I've never done this before, but I think I know how to do it and pull it off, and I would crush it, you know? And it was like,
and
oh,
advice
shit.
to everyone listening, like this is advice in your like early years of working a skill. You should get to the point where like you're not doing it all the time yourself. Right. Although we're priding it, it's when you grow, when you get to a certain point, in order to scale, you have to say no to everything. That's the reality. I just don't want that to be misperceived as like advice of like, say yes to everything that comes our way and like we'll figure it out. It's like,
no, at a certain point you have to, that's when you're like busting your chops and you're like learning. You
need to become more valuable.
You're getting to that level. Exactly.
Yeah.
But once you get to that level of valuability, like you have to bring on more people to scale it and to make it actually like work for you versus you just like doing the same thing, never getting any more experience or more money because you've capped yourself out on that skill. You got to like learn how to build something. And then that's the real power is like if you can build something that's like scalable and repeatable. That was what I like learned from Kat, like I was saying in the last episode, like, oh, I can like teach this team to do this thing and that team generates money by themselves now because I taught them how to do that thing. Kind of like we were talking about this when we were in San Diego about like an In-N-Out. You know what I mean? It's like it's a bunch of teenagers running this place and they do numbers. Each place does numbers just because they have a very
system.
They cut potatoes, they fucking flip burgers. They're literally just freaking, you know, following a system that In-N-Out has made as of like, here's how to make a really good burger for very quickly and cheaply and tastes really great. You know what I mean? Like they figured out a system that makes money on its own. And I was like, oh, wow, if I can figure out a system, like if you can build a group of people that just like generates enough value to bring in money, that's fucking insane when you think about the concept.
Yeah. What we've done here is pretty fucking insane, bro. We also, here's what's exciting to me is, you know, for those of you that don't know, we're nothing. We're very small. We're ants. We're actually nothing, but the trajectory that I think we're on as a company from just opportunities and scale and systems polishing and talent, acquisition of talent. That's an important one. I think I never truly understood actually because my parents and all their friends never had to acquire talent for the careers and businesses that they chose.
Mm-hmm.
Like normal, like not, you didn't need like the smartest person, like secretary level and sales level max, but mostly like part-time workers could run most of the show. You know what I mean? It's like, whereas like it was like labor was cheaper and stuff. So in my head, that's how the company had to be built with like people that like, it was as cheap as possible, like VAs overseas. And like, I was always thinking about how much profit margin can I get out of it? You know, whereas like I think at an actual scale, the real question is like, who's like the next person we could hire that could bring value to the most places in the business as quickly as possible, right? Like even this guy, you and Tara, like hire him now. I'm like, I don't see where the fuck he'd do anything. And you're like, he'll make everything better. It's okay. Just throw him in there and anything will become better.
There are some people out there where, you know, like they're just a really clever person and like they're really good in like this zone of stuff that you're like, I could throw this guy at anything and he could figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Like I remember like Matthew was saying like at one point they needed someone with emails. They're like, we need someone that kind of like understands graphic design, but like also like can make stuff and also can write emails too. So where do we find that person? And it's like, we need to hire Andrew. Like Andrew would do this. And it was they were like, yeah, like
all the time.
They're like, we should hire Andrew. And it was like, no, like Andrew's doing his thing over here. Like, we need to find someone like Andrew, but like not Andrew.
My guys, you know, they don't exist everywhere. They're asking me like, that's the job description.
Right.
They're like, yeah, just get us someone like Andrew. I'm like, yeah, it's not that easy. You know what I mean?
We're a rare breed.
That's why Andrew is who he is. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think? You're just gonna find a guy like this? Like, I recruited Andrew.
I never
for 8
realized
fucking years. I recruited Andrew. You think I'm just gonna throw a text message and get another one? You know what I mean?
It's funny because I never thought of myself like that, like growing up at all.
Yeah, but it's the person you became, though.
Yeah, it totally is.
And also, to be fair, it's about value to the marketplace, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I always saw you as valuable.
Like no matter like where, just like
exactly right. But like, and that's why I always said that to you, because I was like, I know Andrew could bring value to the marketplace. You know what I mean? Like, of just the talents that you had and how you thought about things, like social media, attention, online space, like just the fact that you even bought Snapchat glasses and that you started filming in vertical before other people, like that's the kind of shit that this company is supposed to have, because now we start playing a different game. Like you said, now we have shows and like we're like, okay,
we're like, disrupting what a normal like agency would do.
We should not be doing this.
Yeah,
at all.
They're like, because it's like we've had the most like media agencies and stuff, like you've even mentioned this before, you're like, a lot of marketing companies like actually struggle to get leads themselves. Like they don't know how to do good marketing for themselves.
Yeah.
Like they know how to do good marketing for other companies, but they don't know how to actually like do it to their own business. So like, you know, with the media company, it's like the media company makes stuff for other companies, not for themselves. That's just like a waste of money.
Yeah.
Like why would we spend the money that it takes to make a whole production about us? We're not the exciting thing. It's our clients and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're like, no, we're fucking dope, and we're gonna make a show about ourselves too, because our company is sick.
Because it is.
Yeah, and like every day we're like, this is dope. Like we should show this. Like this is cool. I would watch this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And our clients would watch it. You know, that's another thing. Is like
we have some pretty talented people here too right now.
We have a great team.
Right. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, pretty much everyone here is like fucking sick talented at what they're doing right now. You know what I mean? We haven't like onboarded any noobs recently, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We've like hired people like knowing they're fucking filthy. Like talking to ex-employees that are teammates or bosses, and they're like, that was like the worst thing we've ever done is lose them. You know what I mean? And we're like, we'll take them.
Yeah.
So I think that's been a game changer for us, like as a whole. Like now every time with a few exceptions, don't get me wrong, like I can't be perfect, but now every time we hire someone, every time we've hired someone that's like 100% my decision, the last 3 months, every time someone's hired, everyone around that department's like, that's my new favorite person on the team. You know what I mean? And like the next person comes like, that's my new favorite person. It's like everyone's like their new favorite person, you know, because that's like, you know what I mean? Like even this guy that you two are talking about, like if you brought him on, you guys would be like, yo, fuck, sick. This guy that I work with is sick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he would say the same about you guys. He'd be like, yo, Andrew's fucking sick of this. Terry's sick of this. Like, you know what I mean? So like if you understand the talent that's in this room, give it a year from now and it'll be like, whoa, what did they do? That was pretty sick.
Dude, think about the past year.
Yeah.
We moved in and there was literally nothing. Gutted the whole entire place, built this whole space.
Bootstrapped, not like with an investor.
No.
And was like, when can we make a psych wall?
Yeah, it was literally like, what can we have, like, dude, it was always step by step. Like, it wasn't, there's so many people that want to start at step like 100. Like, they're like, I'm not going to put out any content until I'm like able to start at this highest level of whatever. I can't be seen looking ratchet on a iPhone camera.
Oh no.
I must have bokeh behind
glamour.
I must have, I need to have bokeh. But like,
yeah,
it's like that was one thing that I really appreciate about you, that you pushed, like when I first started here, like you pushed me to be less of a perfectionist, because if it's just up to me, I'm always trying to just make it a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better, because there's no like due date, and you're like actually on the front lines of like new clients and stuff, and like making sure we're pushing stuff out the door. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's good. we're just delivering it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, but if it's just me, I'm like tweaking everything. Oh, it's almost ready. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so it's like good to have like that other side where it's like, this is a good team because I'm able to figure out and prioritize what's worth the time of perfecting and what's like, this is a really good thing. It doesn't need to be 1% better. Just fucking send it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's
Even
like
5% better isn't worth it sometimes.
no. And that's where like the business side and the art side like always kind of collide, but the business side wins because the artist can then just pump out more and more shit and they're thinking about time management, which is really the scarcest resource versus like talent and like how good the thing is.
Yeah.
But that's just like the psychology of an artist, really.
Fair point. And I think what we've done is always agree from the beginning, like as long as we're making money, let's invest in our own content.
Yeah.
You know, like let's not just build other people. We need to build ourselves along the way.
Yes.
And I think that's something we've done well is like build others, but also still make enough room to build ourselves, which we can do way better at for sure. And that's why we're hiring people in that position now to add on to that department of building ourselves. But still really cool. You know what I mean? I think really important perception.
Yeah. Even our like Instagram and stuff, like we've never made like a massive like follower push or like a giveaway or like you've pushed, you know, like you've never like done any kind of crazy stuff like follow 4MEDIA and me and you'll, you know, whatever. Like there's so many gimmicky things you can do to like get followers.
Yeah.
I feel like our Instagram page, like we always get like people are always complaining about Instagram having like bad engagement now and like I have this many followers and I only get like 100 likes. Like the 4MEDIA Instagram page, like follower for like engagement ratio is like really solid.
Yeah.
Meaning
as
like
as an
I
actual
feel
company page.
as an actual company page, you know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah,
like so many company pages are
we
kind of
barely have
lame.
any followers.
We barely have
at
any
all.
followers, and we get a lot of like our engagement is like almost as much
Because
as like
they're
our
actually followers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like high
Like-
quality followers, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where people like kind of don't understand like social media sometimes, because like you could be a hot girl with a big butt and have like 1 million followers, but like why are they following you? They're following you because you have a big butt. Can you monetize your big butt? Now, kind of, yeah, but
No,
like
for sure. You can make a lot of money.
you can
off
make a
your
lot
big
of money
butt.
on your big butt, but but you can also make a fuck ton of money with like 4,000 followers if like 25% of them each pay you hundreds of dollars a month for like a mastermind or something. You know what I mean? Like you can make a lot of money from like a small following too. You know what I mean? Like you can have like a couple thousand followers on Instagram and be like killing it with that audience, but just in a way bigger and more intimate way than just like, I'm looking at this girl's butt and I'm going to buy her OnlyFans for $5.
Also, in the space we're in, having like 5,000 really good followers and apostles and like supporters of your brand, not just watchers, is extremely valuable for the audience that we're pulling in. I'd say, you know, they're all like people who like would tell everyone and their friend about 4MEDIA, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
When I see people that I haven't seen in a long time, they're always like, it looks like you guys have a really cool company. Like every time.
did I
They're
see
always
people
like,
that I never talked to and they're like, your show is amazing. It's great. I love it. It's so clever. And I'm like, oh, the show? And I'm like, let me see if they actually know the name, because they're like, they don't like make it sound like they're a fan or something, right? And then they'll be like, yeah, the agency, the one that's like The Office. I'm like,
Sick.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, how the fuck did what you watch this? Yeah, me and my wife, we enjoy it.
Yeah. You think about like YouTube views. That's the thing about YouTube views. You have like 150 views consistently. That's not a lot, but like think about it. That's 150 people.
10
Imagine
minutes.
150 people sitting in an audience.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people sitting down, like watching a 10-minute movie. Like it's wild when you think about the numbers of YouTube. I would think about that shit all the time when I was doing Wheels to Walking, because we would get numbers
It's like a full
at some
movie
point.
theater, you know?
Yeah. Like, and think about Addison. Like, we had him on the podcast. Like, when he's like streaming.
Or we'll have him.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, whenever order we do this in, we're gonna have him, or we did have him. Go listen. But Addison, like, you know, he's streaming and he's got like, you know, a couple thousand people watching or whatever. That's like fucking crazy to think about 1,000 people sitting there just like watching him fucking work out or something. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
it's
really
wild.
He had like 400 people watching him sleep regularly. He would like nap for
dude.
3 hours.
Apparently, AJ's brother Is a fan. Yeah.
So funny.
He's like, wait, how did you get to shoot with him? And he's like, he's my fucking CEO's brother. He came and like hung out with us. He's like, what? No way. It's sick. I love A-Rap, dude. I fucking watch him all the time.
That's too funny, right? Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
So
yeah, it's so funny because that's my fucking bum ass brother. It's cool though. It's cool though.
It is really crazy.
We both taken like the internet content path in different ways.
He like, I can always tell whenever he's here, he's very appreciative of what we do on the content side. Like he's always like, fuck yeah, I love this shit.
Yeah.
He's always like so pumped to like watch us like make stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he's just so psyched about content.
I mean, think about from his perspective too. Like, I was working in my bedroom for like a solid like 2 years, like building courses from my room, clients, calls, everything. Like he saw me actually working for like 100 hours a week. You know what I mean? Like he saw it.
And then you moved to the basement for
and then I went to the basement. So I was like, let me work even harder. My mother's distracting me with meals.
Right.
I must separate myself from her further. That's what I did.
Yeah.
In order to get internet, bro, we got like a 350-foot Ethernet and ran it from like the opposite corners of the house because it was the only way to get it there. And so we had a fucking 300.
That's the most Eddie shit. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're like, what's more important, having a house with no cord or having a cord? I'm going to have the cord.
Like I need Ethernet.
Yeah, like I don't care that there's a blue cord running across my entire house.
Yeah. Suck it up.
Was it blue?
It was blue.
It was literally running through like the living room and down the stairs to the basement and down the other stairs down the living room.
What did you tell your parents? You're like, Mom, I have to have internet. She's probably like, it's ugly. And you're like, what am I gonna do? Not have internet?
You know how much I struggled with this? Because like it's my career.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like this probably jobless fuck to them.
Yeah.
I'm working from my bedroom and from my basement on a laptop. I don't work for a boss. How do I make any money?
Yeah.
You do marketing, okay.
They're like, but you don't even go to a office.
What do you mean the internet's important to you? This is our home. I'm like, I'm making a fucking living and career. Like, you can't cut it out during a Zoom call. I lose a sale. Do you understand? I'm actually trying to build a business. You know what I mean? Because my brothers would game. So they're like, my brothers are gaming. They're like, dude, no, don't shut off the internet. I'm in stream. You know what I mean? And so like that was like the persona of why the internet was important. Like my parents never saw. Like now we have an office, employees. It's different understanding that, dude. Like being in a room. They see
it. They're here and they're like, oh, this is big. Kind of like what Matt was saying the other night. Yeah. Matt was like not understanding that there was like, you're like, what, your guys are moving into an office? Why? Like he didn't understand that 4MEDIA was like getting big because he was just doing his thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that's fair.
And like your parents are probably kind of thinking that too. Like he's just working on his fucking laptop. Like
my mom has never even seen the new office.
No.
Wow.
She's gonna come and be like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna blow
and
her
she's
mind.
not gonna realize that this happened the day she left. Like we've been here for a long time. Like we're ready to kick down the next one. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
She's like, well, you just moved in. That's cool. We're like, getting old.
Yeah.
Need to move on. Tear down.
We need a bigger studio. We need a garage set where we can pull entire limousines into.
That's it. I'm telling you, we save up for a warehouse. It's on the podcast.
That'll be sick.
I keep saying this. It's because it's gonna happen 100%. Warehouse. Indoor basketball court is key for me because I don't want to ever fucking have to go to Lifetime for like a sick court with my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to like tell my friends, hey, let's play basketball like Thursday after work.
And just you guys.
And just us. And like, 10 of my friends walk in through the back garage door that's open and we have a fucking top-notch basketball court made of like the best wood and all that. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck would I ever want to go anywhere else?
Yeah, that's sick.
Our own fridge with like drinks and shit. They can bring their own drinks. You know what I mean? Like that inside of an office. Like I want that kind of environment.
Like Fantasy Factory kind of?
Yes, but
more professional
exactly,
even? Yeah. Like more productive.
More productive Fantasy Factory.
More productive and more like intentional. Like I feel like Fantasy Factory at the end of the day was like a lot of poorly used space because they needed a lot of space for like a skate park and a fucking like foam pit and stuff.
Like what?
But think about how many crazy sick rooms you could build in a warehouse space.
Exactly.
And then even have like a second level that's like a gym. You know what I mean? Or some shit like Dude Perfect. Like, have you ever seen that YouTube channel?
They're
like,
a good
They have like a crazy ass warehouse where they built like a sick like show studio in their upstairs set, in their upstairs area, and they have like a full gym. They can make like any video they need to right there, like at any time. And they've got like a sick ass staff that can make any type of video.
Exactly. So that's what I want.
And that's what you're going to get.
I'm going to get. I would rather. Like
We'll
I would rather
like
have
that
a good. I would rather have. My wife's gonna disagree. I'd rather have a good house and like a fucking sick ass retarded office like that, and like a sick ass huge mansion, 15,000 square feet, and like a regular office. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I still want, you know.
You're more like 20/80 on like the house and office, and she's more like 40/60. Like she's like. Office is sick, but also house is sick.
Yeah.
Like I want.
You're like, I want to spend everything on the office.
Yeah.
I will live in a cardboard box.
We are living in a
because
shack.
you're living out the water park fantasy at that point. You're like, the office is sicker than the house. I will now live at the office.
And
that's what I don't want.
And Jerry's like, I want to escape from this fucking place for at least a few hours a day. I need to feel normal and cook dinner and sleep.
Yeah.
Like, what if someone at the office cooked dinner for us?
How sick.
Or slept for you.
Dude, that's like ultimately what I think attracted so much talent to like Google and stuff like that. Like, remember when like Silicon Valley started popping off and they're like, yeah, of course we have like private chefs that cook you all your meals here.
Yeah.
Of course there's napping pods for when you feel tired. Like, you know what I mean? Like now that's like almost kind of like commonplace.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we have a ping pong table. Like back in the day, like, dude, imagine at work if you had a fucking ping pong table, dude. That's crazy. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like, we've come so far with like how cool businesses need to be in order to like attract good people.
It's so true, but it's actually false.
Right?
And because of it, we're getting fucked by China because they're all like, we're working overtime. You know what I mean? And we're like, how can we make more leisure time at work? Like,
how can I work less so that I can live more?
I love that.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like,
You're like, what's the end goal of all this money anyways?
yikes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not even about the money, just about like.
But honestly, the world goes around because there's people like that, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with just fucking making what you make and just wanting to fucking relax the rest of the time. Like,
yeah.
Shit.
100%. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but as a nation, we need to fucking relax a little bit.
You are correct.
That's all
on
I'm
that
saying.
standpoint.
Maybe
I meant people that are like happy with like 6 figures and they're not feeling like they need to build a fucking empire. You know what I mean?
Happy with 70 is okay. Happy with 50 is okay.
Dude, of course,
You know
of
what I
course,
mean?
of course.
Everyone
But
has-
I'm saying like even at those levels, like some people are thinking like, dude, you need to, you know, like I've definitely had conversations with people that are like, dude, if you're not grinding every fucking second, like you're wasting your life, dude. You're gonna, you know what I mean? And it's like you're gonna regret it when you don't have this, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm like trying to actually live and enjoy life while I am young and stuff, and like not worry so much about being a fucking like oligarch when I'm like 60. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy with making like. Of course, I want to make money and be successful, but like, I don't need to be like a fucking shake. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it is. People forget, like,
Yeah.
you need to live your life. Like, what are you living for? Are you just living to get that money? No, like, you can literally die tomorrow. Like, would you be happy with the life that you've lived?
But
you need to.
You gotta have money to survive.
No, of course, but you need to also live your life. Like, what were you put on this earth to do? Like, live.
Okay.
We're meant to live and enjoy it and be happy.
But in order to like get yourself ahead of the rat race, there needs to be a time where you work really fucking hard. Like I think like some people are always some people are like too much like I only have one life, blah blah, I can't spend so much time working. It's like, dude, like give yourself goals and stuff like that, and like have periods where you're like fucking grinding so you can get ahead, but at the same time, like still live your life.
Well, you need to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of
you
people
need to work
don't.
hard as fuck for a while and
Well,
not
yeah,
spend
babe,
anything. That's what you need to do.
I
That
understand
gets
that.
rid of anxiety. That's what that is.
It sets yourself up to a point that gets rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you at least feel secure in your fallback savings. Like if I had to really live on my money, if I lost everything except these dollars I have here, then I'm okay. And like that feeling is different because now you're like, whew, let me make decisions based on what is actually best. I was telling this same conversation to my friend. I'm glad we had that conversation because it enlightened me to the way that I think about things a little bit more. And I don't know what the hell I was just talking about.
You were saying like
Money.
with money, like there's certain times where you need to work like super hard to like get ahead so that you can remove anxiety and, you know, not like be confident in the fallback. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was telling him like I make decisions fully based on if I had no money right now, would I make this decision to make, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like,
you weren't thinking about like your well-being. You were thinking more about like what's actually best and stuff like that.
I'm never thinking about what I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
I do. Don't get me wrong. I obviously evaluate the risk.
But it's like if this deal goes bad, even though it's a big deal, I'm not going to be like completely ruined. Like I'm able to like kind of take like a calculated risk a little bit more. So I kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah,
not at all. Exactly. I won't be ruined by any means at all.
Yeah. Like I think Tim Ferriss talks about it.
Immune to losing almost.
Yeah. In 4 Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss says like if you risked your job and all this stuff to like live a life that's to you a perfect 10, let's say that risk is big and you're trying to get to that perfect 10. If you fail, what could you possibly go down to? A 5 on the like grand scheme of things. Like if you go from like a 7 to a 10, that's worth everything. But if you go from a 7 to a 5, that's like, that sucks and you failed and like it hurts a little bit, but you're not like homeless, living in a gutter, eating trash.
Exactly.
You're like, that sucks. But like now I'm back a couple of steps money wise. But like, you know, I can, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But like chances are it's like if you're confident, it's like, dude, take the risk, try to get to that 10. Like you
it's
can
more
do
like
it.
a 15.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like a 7 to a 15, but you only go down to a 5 or a 4.
Yeah.
Because you're not touching the 5 or 4. You know what I mean? That's like, you're not risking that. That's
yeah. Exactly. Because you're like off the scale.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so concludes.
This was a really good episode.
Yeah. So that's us. I'm glad if you're listening, you got a little taste. Hopefully you enjoy what's coming because we got some pretty badass people coming on the show, already on the show at this point. And we just want to, you know, share some really damn good fucking conversations that will bring value to everyone's life in one way, shape, or form. And hopefully inspire you to do some pretty badass shit in your life. So,
for sure.
Thank you for listening. I hope you listen for a long time. And if anything in this makes an impact, please let us know. But the least you could do after sitting this long is just give us a follow across the board. You know, we're not asking for much. We're not asking for your dollars. We're not asking for your doll hairs. We ain't asking you to name your firstborn son Andrew. We're just asking to hit the button.
Open up all the apps.
Where can they find you guys?
Everywhere. 4media.marketing. Just look at it and you will find everything. All of us. Every one of us.
Dude, back in the day when I was doing my podcast in the beginning, my parents' friends would be like, I tried listening to your son's podcast, but I didn't know where to listen. And I would always be like, did you like Google anything? I'm like, I've done a really good job of making it like very obvious where to find the Andrew Deitsch podcast. Like you Google anything related to that, guaranteed finding it. And they'd be like, I didn't know where to listen. And I'm like, where do you listen to podcasts? And they're like, iTunes. I'm like, there. Anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like, if you don't know where to find us, you're a lost cause at this point. Like,
I'm dying, bro.
if you use Instagram, follow us there. You know that.
YouTube's a good one.
YouTube is a fucking great one. Follow us there. Second biggest search engine in the world. Type in 4MEDIA. You found us quickly.
So yeah.
That was always the funniest thing to me. I would always just go off. I'm like, dude, they don't give a fuck. They did not try. They're just saying that. They're just saying that. Oh my God. Anyways, hope you laughed at that. Follow us everywhere, and
everywhere.
we'll see you next time. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the 4MEDIA Uncut podcast. If you want to work with us, learn with us, or even join the team and be a part of what we're doing at 4MEDIA Marketing, just go to our website. It's 4media.marketing. No .com, no .net, .marketing, because that's all we do around here. And most importantly, share this with a friend wherever you're listening to or watching this on. Please hit that share button, send it over to a friend, someone else that you think will get value out of this. It would mean the world to us.
And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like this video and comment down below any suggestions for future guests. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please rate this 5 stars and leave us a review there. That helps us tremendously in the algorithm world. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of 4MEDIA Uncut Podcast.